welcome back to NewsX podcast show, which is Get Candid with Chitvan. Welcome to another insightful episode of Get Candid with Chitvan. Today we are diving into the future of sustainability, innovation, business with co-founder Onlygood, Mr. Vivek Mehra. Their platform is changing how business track, manage, and reduce carbon emission, making sustainability more accessible and actionable. Let's get candid. Hi Vivek, how are you?
Hello, very well, thank you.
So, my very first question to you, what was the core problem that led to the birth of Only Good?
Well, I think mostly it's climate change. As you can see, I'm outside and I'm in 40-degree Delhi heat. And really, all of us are reeling from climate change. It's not something that happens to other people. So fundamentally, it was how do you make impact at scale? Because you can do things at your personal level. You can plant trees, you can be conscious about what you consume. But how do you make industries respond to climate change effectively? How can you help businesses grow sustainably? That was the main impetus for Rajiv and I to start the company.
So nice. So, my next question to you, between you both, a technologistic and a supply chain leader, how did that send energy works?
So Rajiv and I have worked together in the past as well. We both were part of NGT Data.
Yeah.
I was leading digital. He was heading the supply chain business, SAP. And the synergy was very good because both of us are sustainability minded in our personal lives. And when we connected and we both shared the passion for doing something for the environment, but at a larger scale. His background in supply chain really helped us because supply chain carbon emissions was something we were looking to capture. That continues to be a problem today. How do you get data from supply chains and understand the emissions all across the supply chain, not just in the enterprise? And my background with technology helped us build the technology platform
Yeah. That's
to
right.
make this real.
So, the innovation, what makes Only Good stand apart in sustainability tech space?
Yeah, well, one is it is a data and machine learning and AI-led company. So
Mhm.
typically, sustainability, obviously, as a discussion point, is not new. It's been around for 20 years, including carbon emissions. And the challenge always has been that how do you capture data? The data that you do capture, how is it verified?
Yeah.
Can it be trusted, etc. And so without technology, you can't really scale. And one of the key innovations that we had is focusing on the supply chain because everybody can get consultants and you can look at the carbon emissions of a given enterprise, but it's very difficult to do it at scale across global supply chains. So that's where the technology comes in, specifically using IoT, the Internet of Things, sensors and devices to give out data like energy meters, water meters, things like that. Also, the ability to read and verify documents like invoices so that you know that the data is accurately captured and can be audited. Also, in cases where you want to get to a net zero, how do you start to predict and create models where you look at the data and you can understand what your pathway to decarbonization is? So for all of those things, that's what our focus has been.
Yeah. So, can you walk us through how your platform works from sensor data to ESG reports?
Yes. So one of the first ways you engage with the platform is you get the data in and you ingest the
Mhm.
data from SAP, from IoT devices, sensors. You can
Yeah.
enter it manually through Excel, a variety of ways the data gets
Mhm.
in. Once the data is in the dashboard or the set of dashboards initiated, you get the analysis of where your spend is in terms of emissions, which plants, which suppliers, and so on. And then you look at the longer term view of setting goals, in short term goals, long term goals,
Yeah.
how do you get to net zero, and then start tracking them.
Mhm.
So earlier it used to be that the goals were kept in some kind of PowerPoint separately, and the tracking was done in some kind of technology or in Excel. How do you then track both together and look and see if you're actually going to meet your goals?
So, how do you ensure the authenticity of carbon data, especially for audits and certifications?
Yes. So auditability is a key aspect. We have a separate auditor platform in our dashboard in our platform. One of the ways the auditing happens is we use the ISO process. So the ISO process essentially requires you to, and when the data is entered, you log the timestamp of who entered the data, what
Yeah.
is the employee ID of the person who entered the data,
Mm-hmm.
when the data was entered, have you QA'd the data, right? And what is the employee ID of the person who QA'd the data? All of those things are captured in there.
Yeah. So, how have clients responded to integrating sustainability into their business models?
So there are various levels of maturity when we talk about clients. There are clients where they're just aware of sustainability, right? A lot of our clients are on a maturity spectrum. So some clients are very mature. What happens is they are aware of sustainability practices, but they don't really use data. They don't really use technology to take care of them. What happens is as you move from awareness to becoming a little more socially conscious, then you start to look at, okay, how can I take waste, reduce waste? Can I improve solar? So you take some ad hoc type decisions. And then you get to the next level of maturity when you start to embed sustainability in processes. You look at it from a process standpoint as a chunk. And then you look at where intervention is required. At the really mature level, you start to look at your business model and say how you can use sustainability for your competitive advantage. So, for example, for pricing leverage, if you can show you're a green company,
Yeah.
you can actually get better pricing based on that. So, different clients are different levels of maturity and they've had different
Sure.
journeys.
Okay, so my next question to you: do you see sustainability become a necessity rather than a choice for business now?
Yes, it is a necessity because not just from an ethical standpoint, but as companies want to grow, this is one of the last few differentiators. See, everybody has access to the same technology these
Yeah.
days. The price points are dropping, the margins are dropping. If you look at any product or service, the only way companies can attach themselves to customers and buyers better is if they advertise their credentials as sustainable companies. And the way you do that is, of course, with data, you are able to make claims that you can substantiate. And it gives you a lot of pricing leverage, a lot of brand loyalty. And you actually, in many cases, it's the cost of doing business. So it's no longer an optional aspect. It's actually a core piece of your business.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
So, what's your vision for Onlygood globally, especially with EU expansion and SMES?
Yeah, so as we enter Europe this year, our goal is to be the partner of choice for companies for sustainability. And right from data to auditing to providing carbon services and decarbonization pathways, providing offsets, helping them list carbon credits on exchanges and monetize the credits, all of that is something that we can do and we expect.
So, what role do you see India playing in the global sustainability movement?
So I think India has a very large part to play. I think India, because it's a late developer and late bloomer in
Yeah.
terms of global macroeconomics, I think it has a chance, a once in a lifetime chance to actually take the leadership in sustainability. And with the present government as well, there's a lot of push on sustainable methods, sustainable living, a lot of movement on solar, EVs, hydrogen. So all the right policies are being put in place, the right incentives are being put in place. I think those need to continue. But I think India has a very critical role to teach, especially the emerging world, how to develop without the burden of non-sustainable energy, non-sustainable products. And obviously, India has always been the Indian mindset has always been a conscious consumer of products. That shouldn't change. I think it's if we keep that, then India has certainly a role to play as a leader in terms of sustainable development.
So they're gonna be a rapid fire round. I'm gonna ask you 3 to 4 questions.
So
So one word that describe only good.
I say innovation.
Nice. Data or insights, what drives you more?
Um, I'd say it's data first, and then when you make decisions, it's probably based on instinct because you need to understand the cultural appetite of an organization in terms of how much change they can accept.
Yeah.
So you are driven by data to make decisions at the macro level, but implementation is generally based on instinct.
A dream collaboration you would love to see happen.
So for us, the dream collaboration is working with any global supply chain where we get access and we get the ability to green an entire supply chain, tier one, tier two, tier three suppliers. So kind of like the ones we have with Maruti Suzuki and with IT Madras and Daimler Truck,
Yeah.
where we are helping those enterprises with bringing of the enterprise itself, of course, but also their supplies. That would be a dream collaboration.
So, thank you, Vivek, for sharing such powerful insights and reminding us that sustainability isn't just saving the planet, it's about redefining growth, responsibility, and innovation. To all the listeners, the future is just started. Platform like Only Good. Until next time, stay curious, stay candid. Thank you, Mr. Mehra.